When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
Hey, this is William Ted Cup and Ryan Leary. You are listening and hopefully watching the You Should Know podcast. We have Naomi on today. And Naomi, you have like a job at ADP or something, right?
Yeah, something like that.
You don't lead with the officer part of your title. You just kind of like, I'm in product. And, yeah.
I'm in product, yeah.
Yeah, over there.
Yeah. Titles aren't important to me. So.
Truth. Chief product officer, though, ish at ADP?
Chief Product Owner and Vice President of Product Management for Shared Products at ADP.
That's for the audience. That is a long title. Not sure we need to use acronyms for that.
It's like my last name. I don't bother using the title, and I don't bother using my last name because I'm just Naomi, you know?
There you go. Yeah, like Madonna. Done.
Exactly.
Casso. Get it out of the way. So, first of all, introduce yourself. We'll start there.
No worries. I'm Naomi Lariviere. I'm, as we just were talking about, Chief Product Owner and Vice President of Product Management for Shared Products at ADP, but I also oversee our client-facing AI program, which is called ADP Assist. So anytime someone touches AI within our system that is a client of ours, they're touching something that my team has built.
Okay, so let's deal with the updates on Assist. What was new, let's say, just in the most recent, like Q3? Can't keep it simple.
Oh my gosh, my list is long.
I don't think that was simple.
That wasn't simple?
No.
Really?
No.
All right, skip it. How are you?
No, I can answer it. Because I think it's probably a good way to actually frame it. So, one of the biggest challenges we have at ADP is we service a lot of clients across 140 different countries. So we have a lot of different product. And the unique thing about ADP Assist is that we're building it once and deploying it across all of our product platforms that service our clients. So the 1.1 million clients that we have and growing, they get access to it in the platform of their selection with us. So, it's an extremely big logistical challenge. And also, as you want to scale AI, it is also a challenge from that aspect. But we release stuff pretty much every 3 weeks. We're one of the biggest things, we just loaded out 80 new task agents. We call them simplified agents. You'll hear me refer to either or. So things that help you with your PTO balances, giving you insights around your pay. We completed a huge project that rolled out in September for that. We have been rolling out a semi-autonomous solution that supports payroll anomalies in the payroll process. Things that help people with promotions, learning. Pretty much you name it. We've got a good smorgasbord of things coming out on a really regular basis.
I think Naomi, one of the things I think that people don't understand is we don't understand the breadth of what you do and the scale of what you do. We talk to a lot of HR leaders, obviously. This is what we do. And they seem very confused at their level, at what they're doing. And William, you mentioned this in pre-show, and I wanted to kind of kick off with it. Do they need to understand, does an HR leader, CHRO, et cetera, do they need to understand how this stuff works, or they just need to know how to leverage it and how to adopt it?
I think it's good that everybody have some sort of AI literacy, so like a base level understanding, so you can understand the difference between generative or natural language or machine learning. I think it's good for people to at least have a definitional understanding. But, like in the customer base that we have, we scale from solopreneurs all the way to, large multinational organizations. And so I encounter and I talk to clients that, are telling you the exact same thing. They go, oh, all the vendors show up and they're using all this big terminology, and it goes right over yeah, exactly, right over my head. And like, can you just tell me what I need to know? And so what we see is like the smaller or mid-sized organizations that don't have these like gigantic IT departments, they just want to buy from a vendor that they trust, where it's coming made for them, and you just explain to them how it works in the flow of their work. And then you see the larger organizations, they have IT departments, they have CIOs and CTOs and heads of security, and really when it comes to a buy decision and it's only being made on AI, those are the folks that we're talking to, because what they want to know is like, are you going to keep my data secure? You've got all the proper protocol around it. So to a certain extent, it's a nuanced answer, but it kind of depends on where you are. And I think for the most, I mean, if you look at our base, 900,000 of our clients are in that small to mid-sized space. So a lot of what we're designing is stuff that is purpose built for them to help them do their job in a different manner, or like make it more efficient. So I think maybe that's the best way to explain it.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago, we had a guest on, and their bit was bringing HR and technology more together, either forcibly or otherwise, just because AI and information and data security, all the other things that are there, it's going to require them to be closer together. It's going to require that relationship to be, less siloed and more collaborative, if you will. We didn't bite it at first, but she was very compelling.
I think that, if you're a properly functioning organization, that IT is an enabler, right? And that's what IT organizations do. And in general, you could have that same conversation with sales. You could have that same conversation with service. Like, you need to be best friends. If you're going to use AI, you should be best friends with IT. So all of a sudden we're popular. So I do think that HR and technology does need to, work and collaborate more together. But I don't think you need to see, R&D leaders necessarily automatically going over into HR,
Right.
because I think what HR is really good at is the people aspect of it, and we can't lose the people aspect of their job.
How do you talk about truth right now and trust? We were talking about this, I think it was yesterday. We were talking about this, and it's still a common thread that gets pulled through a lot of conversations. I thought we would be past this right now. And I'm just curious, how do you look at that?
And specifically truth and what's real in the marketplace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a couple ways. One, how do we trust data? So if an employee or a manager or whoever is leveraging AI, how do they trust really the results that they're getting? But then, just overall, what's true, what's out there, what is out there, how do we trust, or how do we know what is true?
Okay, I'm going to take them in reverse order, if that's okay with you then.
Anyway,
so, it is your show, and I'm trying to, but, what I would say is there's a lot of excitement, and there has been a lot of excitement around AI for the last few years. And a lot of organizations have had the mandate, everybody must use AI. And so I think, to a certain degree, with any new exciting technology that's going to solve world peace, that everybody rushes to get something out the door. And I mean, I think you both have seen the study that was released. I believe it was with BCG and MIT, where 95% of AI use cases fail. Right. So I think it's a very valid question for people to be going like, what's real? What's the actual truth? And, when we talk about how our approach is to AI, so you heard me at the top of the show talk about the depth and complexity of the program that I run. We're not out there, communicating that we have, agentic AI and it's solving everything in payroll, like from soup to nuts. Like, yes, that's on the longer term roadmap. But what we are doing is really focusing on solving our clients' needs. So our clients have pain points. We've really been thoughtful about where do we apply this technology to those pain points, and then we are literally flowing it into how they work within our system. So now what that does for our clients is, because we're not just kind of splashing everything out there, it allows them to inspect what we're doing. So there's lots of transparency in terms of the documentation that we provide to our clients, in terms of within the actual screens that they see, that explainability.
That's nice. Good music.
Sorry.
There's always one.
I don't know how to put do not disturb on my WebEx. I am so sorry about that.
Sorry, you're good. AI. Yeah.
No one ever calls on that number. That's the funnier part. Dang, and I was on a roll there.
You were.
You can edit that out, please.
Maybe.
So what?
I favor leaving it in, but go ahead.
So what that allows our clients to do is, as we give them that trust and explainability of what we're doing, we're building progressive trust with them. So we're not racing to the end destination. We're giving it to them in bits that they can consume and digest and feel comfortable with. Now, if you talk about that employee and how do you trust it? Well, I would never recommend just going out to like a chat GPT and throwing your bank statements in there. I think that's a dangerous, dangerous scenario.
Social security number. Yeah, routing number. Yeah, all this stuff.
Exactly. I think that I think when an employee is interacting with an HCM system, their organization has done the due diligence typically with the vendor to actually say, yes, we trust this technology. So as long as their company has said ADP is a trusted partner, they should believe that the information we're giving them is the accurate information. Now, we also have lots of safeguards in terms of what we are rolling out. So, you talk about hallucinations or bias and things like that. So when we actually start coming up with whatever use case or idea that we've got, before in our development process, we used to go to like security and legal and privacy when we were done developing. Now we've completely shifted that to the left. So as soon as you come up with that idea, it goes through a review process where you're going through all of these things. And as we continue to develop that idea, after it comes out of an experimentation or a POC phase into a pilot that we might want to test with actual clients, it goes through another harder standard of testing. And the same thing happens once we're ready to go through to make it generally available. Now, none of the testing stops there, because we also do auditing of all of this stuff periodically to make sure that what we ask the AI to do is still doing the thing that we asked it to do.
Quick question. Do you do that internally, or do you third party, or do you have it audited in some way?
The auditing is done third party, but the process is governed by our chief data office.
Yeah, that checks. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, it's a great question. It's a great question. Yeah, it's better. One of the things about ADP is in 2019 we actually created our AI and Ethics Council, which is grounded and supported by luminaries in this field of AI and ethics. And they work alongside us to make sure that how we think about our AI program and how we actually implement all the technology that we want to roll out is done in a way that broadly would be seen as the best way to actually do it.
Awesome. I had a quick question. So we've been through, in our lifetimes, we've been through the internet, both capitalized. And we've also been through the change from on-prem to the cloud. Like, no one asks if this is cloud software anymore. Like whenever you're in enterprise sales on any of the HCM vendors, no one's going to ask you if it's on-prem, outside of a defense contractor here and there. But by and large, it's assumed that it's SaaS. It's assumed that it's cloud. And when we're on the internet. We don't say that we're on the internet, or pretty much everyone will laugh at us that we say that we're on. Yesterday, I spent 8 hours on the internet. Um, I'm thinking about AI in that way. It's like, when will we not say it?
I think when we stop personalizing it, to be honest with you, you guys hear it all the time from folks like, right now the thing that's hitting this industry, agentic AI, and I've got a recruiting agent, and
Monorail.
you've got all of those things, and our philosophy is not to personify it, and we talk about it in the flow of their work. They
Right.
should be, yes, we acknowledge that they should be aware when AI is present and being used, but it doesn't need to be in everybody's face, like, right up at the camera. Like, it doesn't need that. What you should, I really believe AI is a feeling when you're working with a smart solution,
Oh,
and you
cool.
really don't need to, you don't need all the names and the widgets. Like, it should just be smart. It should be
Right.
easy to use. It should make you a better worker, and it should give you the information you need to do your job.
Brian, that's the title of the show. AI is a feeling
AI
of working with. Dude, seriously, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm with you here. And it might have been with you. We spoke about this, about when does it go to the background, right? When does it hit him? When do we come in and just do our jobs? And everything we do is just operating
It's
that
infused.
way.
Yeah.
It's infused in the work.
And that's exactly how we're approaching this. We're not really putting it in your face as you're using our system, because it does, like, whether it's agentic, whether it's generative NLP or whatever, you don't need to, like, when I go to a restaurant and I have a plate put in front of me, I do not need to see all the prep cooks and the sous chefs doing their work to show me. Now,
I go further. I don't want to see.
I don't want to see the cooks.
I do not want to see that. I just want to enjoy what it is
100%.
that I'm doing, and that is essentially, akin to what we're doing at ADP. You should be able to enjoy using our system, and it should be easy for you to use it.
5-star Michelin experience.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I always say that. It's funny because when we go to restaurants, I always say, I don't want to see the chef. Like, when the chef comes out and they talk, I don't want to see you. I don't want to see the hair on your face.
Don't you have work to do?
Yeah.
Why do you have so many tattoos?
I just want to eat. Yeah, I get your fingernails. They're dirty. They're
dirty. That earring,
What are you doing? Seriously, what are you doing?
Nose hair,
Does your mother know what you did last night? Come on, seriously.
So, Naomi, one of the questions I wanted to ask was, your client, they range, right? I mean, like, most of your clients are smaller, right? And mid-size. There's a lot of hesitation in that area that we're finding anyhow. What's the risk that they run if they don't begin to, or if they haven't yet implemented? Is there a risk, or is that just overplayed in the market? You have to do this now.
Okay. So
I have an answer if you like, Ryan. Do you want mine? Then she can build hers. Okay. Fine.
Well, no,
Naomi, you are the guest.
Well, what I would say, we'll do ladies first.
Yeah, fair.
So go ahead. But
I mean, the hair,
Yeah. No. Totally.
Okay. I'm just joking.
She might need to be a co-host here.
100%.
I did it in college. But what I would say is, in terms of, like, when I think about Pete, the pizza shop owner, right? Like, he's going to, with whoever he's using for his point of sale system, whoever he's using for his accounting or whatever, those vendors are going to bring the AI to him, and he's going to get it no matter what. So, like, I don't really think that Pete has to adopt anything. He's just going to have software that makes his running of his business better, right? Now, when you talk about the larger organizations, so I think there's maybe an instrumental kind of inflection point, maybe at the 500 employee plus type of organizations. They're the ones who are going like, oh, I have a bigger set of employees, more data, I have all these things to be thinking about. I think, I know when I'm talking to them and I'm having these conversations because I get brought in quite frequently. In those conversations, what they're interested in is having an understanding of what actually AI is, what it's doing for them, and do they have to do anything, right? And the way that we're thinking about it, no, you just have to use what's in our tool. We've given it to you, we've done the hard thinking for you, and we'll explain it in a way that is good for you. I think it's if you're using AI as your own 500 person organization and you're using it for your own organization, you should get on that journey now, right? Like, don't wait, because this is going to become prevalent. And to the point that we were just talking about, in terms of like, it doesn't need to be in your face, it's just going to make things a lot easier. I think that's like, you're not going to be able to outrun this or avoid it, or you can't be you can't avoid this. It's just going to happen over time, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, again, it's right at every one of these technological advances in history, you have a choice as a human being either to adopt or not. And horse and buggies, indoor plumbing, like all of these different things that have happened through the history of time, you can choose that or not. So the business owners that don't choose to use it, that's fine, but they're also placing themselves and their companies in the way of being outdated. So it's adopt or die
Yeah.
in a lot of cases. Question I have now is on the large language model. Are you building your own? Or are you using others or a combination of others? Like what's your bit on the data side back on the back end?
It's a combination. So, there are certain things that we wouldn't want to give to a large language model, that are
Right,
proprietary to our own organization. So, we mix both. But, when it comes to data, what I think is important to note is that we don't share any of
right,
the actual client's data with an LLM.
right. Do you share the aggregate in the sense so it can learn?
Um, we're very particular about what data we
Gotcha.
will or will not give.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense. That's sensible. Ryan, what else you got?
I was I no w- so this is super elementary, Naomi. I
No,
understand. But the
Phil,
conversations now
Philly.
are very much rooted towards 26, right? What's the trend? What are we seeing? All of this stuff. And I promised myself I wouldn't do it this year, but I feel like you're the right person to ask this because you kind of know about this stuff. What are we really looking at? Like, what's the shift going to be from 25? I mean, we know what we saw in 24, 25, 23. Where are we moving? Like, is this going to be a massive shift? Is something really going to be different in the coming year? Or are we going to do more of the same and we're looking more 27, 28 before we really just live with this?
Yeah, I think maybe 25 was the year of hype, and in this space. Just a lot of, announcements and conversations around, we've got this thing or that thing or whatever. I think next year's the year for results and actually showing, did you do your homework, yes or no, in terms of delivering what you have. So I think you're, starting to deliver on the actual promise, I think is going to happen next year. This year, I think, and what I mean by hype is, if you think about it, there was a Google paper in September of last year that was the first paper to come out and talk very publicly about the concept of agentic AI. And within, 2 months, a lot of organizations were like, oh, yeah, I've got an agent here and there and everywhere. Okay, so you just recategorized all your AI to be an agent.
Mhm.
And that obviously you can get a lot of mileage out of that type of information. But what's really important, and the question I get asked quite frequently is like, well, how are you looking at adoption? Like, how many people are actually using your AI? Well, what I can say is that for all 1.3 or 1.1 million of our clients, they have ADP Assist. They have it in their hands. Our highest usage of our AI is with employees. 67% of our employee base, which, by the way, we pay 1 in 6 people in the United States, they are using our AI to help facilitate their experience at work, right? And I think it's incumbent, especially if there was a buyer out there, like you want to see, okay, well, you've got this AI, you're saying it is, okay, well, like who are the other clients I can talk to that are using it? And, how many people do actually use it? And are they happy with it? I think those are all great questions. So I think next year's the year of like, put up or shut up.
Right. It's just, Ryan, your question reminded me of SaaS adoption. So different, point solutions and
Every
whatnot,
stage of everything. Yeah.
right? At some point, people have to use it. With on-prem, you had a longer tail because they bought the software. They didn't lease the software. So if they didn't use it, it sucks to be them. When they were leasing the software as SaaS, it was in their best interest, but you still had to do programmatically, you still had to do things. You had to pull levers to get people to use software. I think AI is a little bit more like that in the sense of programmatically, we've got to figure out if managers aren't using it, if employees are, but managers aren't, okay, what do we need to do to get those folks to adopt the AI part? Okay, and if they're using it, but the leadership isn't, okay, what do we need to do? Like it's continually to figure out to solve the algebra of that particular group and how we get them to use the AI that's already in existence and not even the new stuff, just already in existence. And the more they use, the more they'll use and trust. I think the more that they kind of get in there and they start to use it and they start running questions and queries and having conversations with their own data, then probably via proxy AI, then they start becoming interested, like curious, like, well, wait a minute, is that different for Texas and Oklahoma? Like, is that like they'll be curious, but we got to get them to be curious.
There's this like weird thing though that's happening or what you see in this space, and you have like all the execs going, use AI, use AI, use AI, get it out there as quickly as possible across every function in the organization, get it out there, right?
Right.
And then then you have all the people who actually have to execute on that strategy going like, stop, I don't know what this is, like help me out, like I got to figure it out, right? And I have to figure out what it's going to do and what it means and all these things, and I have to train.
What's your safe word? Yeah,
right
stop.
well, and I have to train all my employees, and that's a big task, and like how am I going to do it, break it up into chunks, whatever it is. But then you actually like talk to employees and you see just within the data that I was quoting from our own stuff, like employees are using it all the time. I was just doing a public speaking thing, and I actually asked, and I knew in this organization, in their minds, they have not rolled AI out. And I said, okay, how many of you use AI? Raise your hand. Every single hand in that room went up. So it's like this middle space that we've got to get comfortable with this technology. So I 100% agree with you. And I think it's about finding meaningful use cases that make them go, okay, this is how it makes my job better or easier, and like get them to not be so scared of the technology.
So I do have an off question. You good, right?
Go ahead, ask your off question. I'm gonna hold the censor button.
No. I don't mean no. I mean it's off the topic. It's not.
I'm sorry, Naomi. It's coming.
You're gonna ask me about my background wall?
No, I do like your background wall. Yeah, it's yeah. So the questions that buyers should be asking today have clearly shifted a bit from 5 years ago. What if you could script them? What questions should they be asking of ADP or otherwise? What's that list of questions that they should be asking?
I think, how do you use AI responsibly? What's your methodology for designing AI? how are you going to help me ensure that it's not going to get me in trouble with the legal aspects of it, and that my data is secure, right? And that you're not training LLMs using my specific data, right? So I think those are all very fair questions to ask any provider on the onset. And then it's really, what is AI going to do for me? And show me how you're show me AI in a production environment that actually is doing this. Because I know, I think all software vendors are guilty of this, rocking up with a lovely, Figma demo, like show me it in a production environment that it actually is there and that it works, right? So,
yeah. So on the flip side of that, what's the red flag? Like, what if I hear something? I'm talking to a vendor. What am I hearing that I'm like, whoa, I got to stop right there and back up?
I have to go get an expert to come and talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly believe anybody who's out there selling software should be able to talk about this and talk about what their organization is doing. I think, if it's left to only one person in the organization, we've got a problem. So, and I mean, that goes to show like what ADP itself has done around AI fluency, especially with our sellers. Really make sure that they're educated, but they should be able to explain it to you in terms that you understand. We were talking earlier about like these HR departments don't understand it, and a lot of it goes over your head. I was talking with a client just the other day, and she's like, they came in and they were like deterministic and probabilistic, and those were the only two words that she remembered. But she's like, I don't know what that means. Like, what is this stuff gonna do for me? And I think if they're using the big words that say my team might be using, then that's kind of like a sense check. Like, you have to be able to talk in the terms of what your buyer is actually interested in.
Yeah,
Okay, Brian.
I would say if they're using those words, the big smart words, they've probably been book trained in a classroom.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. And
really
they don't know. And I mean, you could, I mean, like, I always I did this to somebody. They gave me the spew of words, and I don't know if it's because I'm a girl that they think I don't know what I'm talking about, but
You're talking to a mechanic? Are you talking to a mechanic? I'm sorry. It's your starter, is the alternator. There's, it's $700.
Yeah, and I was like, well, can you please define probabilistic to me and why that would be a good thing? And so, I think those you hear a word that you don't know, turn it right back around on them.
Tell me about
basically.
that.
Yeah, tell me more. Tell me more.
My favorite bit in sales, especially HCM sales, is when they talk more about how they use it in their organization. So flipping around on ADP and sales, right? It's like, well, I can tell you how I use it. I can show you how I use it. Like, it's like now it becomes out of it's real because Jane or Jack is using it, and they're willing to just open up the screen and go, okay, so listen, when I would do put paid time off, this is what I do, blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, they're living it. And then, oh, by the way, they're just trying to deliver it to us. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think when you can like literally pull up your personal phone and actually show you in ADP mobile how it actually works, that's a fair thing.
I think we might have talked about this at one point, the audio being or voice being kind of a different interface in a way. It's just you're talking on your phone already or whatever. It's like texting using SMS or voice that just asks for what you need. As an employee in particular, different policies, different, things that you need, and just saying, hey, listen, I'm in Indiana. What's our vision policy or what's my vision policy? And I'm not typing at a place. I'm not going to the extranet and then typing into a place to then find another place to download a PDF and blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. And that's actually what we've been doing. So we really do think about the different modals across, we're really, not everybody can see. So in terms of accessibility, that is a really good element that we've included in ADP Assist. So whether you need voice or text. You can do either with our software because that's how easy it should be. And then just give me it. Can you read the document back to me? It should all be able to do that.
Yeah, Naomi, one more question for you which you just brought up. Those that need assistance, so blind or deaf, and how do we get past, or how do we bring this to that demographic? Is it just voice, or should we expect something different and bigger for them to be able to leverage all of the tools that everyone else can?
Yeah, I think the world of technology is continuing to evolve to be a more inclusive space for everybody who is working, right? Are we perfect yet? No. Are we all working towards it? Yes. I mean, at ADP, we really respect the WGCA accessibility standards, and we've incorporated that across all of our products. But the world's evolving, those standards are evolving. So in terms of, anybody should be able to use our tools, and there shouldn't be a hindrance for them to be able to do that. But it's going to be an evolution because the technology also has to catch up to the way that they experience the world.
Last question for me. There's a company and a large HCM vendor in our space, to be unnamed someday. There's a lawsuit out there that's basically that people have joined into. It's becoming a class action suit where they're suing the vendor about AI bias, and in this particular case, it's a hiring bias. And it started with one person applying to 100 different companies and having the skills to get that job, and not even getting it, not getting even on the list for any of them. And it had an age bias, what we would assume is an age bias. It's going to the courts right now. How much are you and your other members of the C-suite or the board looking at that particular lawsuit?
Oh, well, I'm not a lawyer and I don't play one on TV.
You slept at Holiday Express? Come on, you're good.
Yeah, well, I think all organizations in the space are aware of that lawsuit. But as to what my C-suite is talking about, and from that element, we've got lots of experts who can talk to you about that, but it's generally not where my area of expertise is.
You're keeping an eye on, but there's other people
keeping an eye on it. Yeah, there are. Yeah, we have some really great attorneys that this is right up their alley, and they're paying attention. So if you ever want to talk to them, we've got some really good ones to talk to.
Attorneys.
No, we're good. No, I just
no
because
attorneys.
it's one of those bits. It's like I don't think I expected it so fast. I knew it was going to happen because we're a litigious society. Of course, it's going to happen. And there's bias everywhere. Yeah, we're biased.
Well, there's a number of these suits. Right. We talked about one. It was last week or the week before, where they were using ASL, sign language.
Yeah.
And the AI picks them up as being erratic and not able to focus and this and that. So we've got a ways to go. But it's a difficult thing to tackle.
100%.
Yeah. But I would say, as technologists in this space, I think we need to be really thinking about, just because we can doesn't mean we should. So in our development process, we, take a process like payroll, break it down into all the tasks and decisions that get made, look at the things that take the most time, and then go, okay, if we wanted to take time out of a job, where would we take the time out of that job? And then go, okay, should we? So what's the impact and what's the feasibility of that? And that's where, when I mentioned our responsible AI approach, that's where that comes in, to make sure that any of the AI that we are pushing out, that, if the idea is framed in the right way, that protects, our clients, it protects ADP, and it's done in such a thoughtful way. And again, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Drops the mic, walks off stage. Naomi, thank you so much for your time.
Been out here all morning. Not a single bite. Guess the fish finally figured it out. Just like hackers do, when Cisco Duo's on guard. With Duo's end-to-end phishing resistance, every login, every device, every user stays protected. No hooks, no catches, no bites. Cisco Duo. Phishing season is over. Learn more at duo.com.